Silverton Audio presents the unabridged recording of Conspiracy of Lies, written by Richard S. Rachlin, narrated by Kaczmarczyk and Adrianne Knapp. Prologue. October 2004. The old man scratched the gray stubble of his 3-day growth and fixed his gaze on the autumn sun as it began its descent behind the housing projects to the west. He shivered from the cool breeze, unusual for this time of year, angry at himself for leaving behind his worn cotton suede jacket, a hand-me-down from his grandfather, a fisherman like himself. He hooked his last live shrimp to his line and shuffled to the edge of the riverbank. 20 minutes more. Then he'd gather his gear and catch the Overtown bus home. He knew better than to be here alone after dark. As the last traces of daylight all but disappeared, the old man's line grew taut. Instinctively, he began to reel, but whatever was out there just wouldn't budge. He bent on one knee over the neck of the river and tried his best to steer the shadowy object toward him. His pulse raced as thoughts carried him back to more than 20 years ago in the days of Miami's cocaine cowboys, when it was not uncommon for fishermen to scoop up square groupers, or wrapped bales of marijuana tossed overboard from seaboats smuggling their loads in from the Bahamas. Grudgingly, he cut his line and hurried over to the riverbank for a better look at his bounty. Inching closer, he froze in horror. "Dear Mother of God!" he cried. Aided by a strong current, the partially decomposed body of a brown-skinned man drifted toward him, his dark eyes fixed open in a grotesque stare, his throat slashed from ear to ear. Chapter 1. 5 years later. In the dead of night, Jake Dalton shot up in bed. Was it another nightmare about Drew? He glanced at Elena, his wife, lying beside him, sound asleep. Still half awake, he reached over to shut off his alarm, but then realized the loud ringing came from his cell phone. Within minutes, he drove like a bat out of hell through the rain-soaked streets of South Miami, swerving to avoid hitting a parked UPS truck before skidding to a stop in front of the ER. The usually bright sign for Miami Children's Hospital was dark. His Sob's radio blared that the worst of the tropical storm was about to hit. In the passenger seat, Elena had already flung off her seatbelt, her body twisted.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?